The Divine Comedy of Dante, translated by Dorothy Sayers. Canto 1. Midway this way of life we're bound upon, I woke to find myself in a dark wood, where the right road was wholly lost and gone. Ay me, how hard to speak of it, that rude and rough and stubborn forest. The mere breath of memory stirs the old fear in the blood. It is so bitter it goes nigh to death. Yet there I gained such good, that to convey the tale, I'll write what else I found therewith. How I got into it, I cannot say, because I was so heavy and full of sleep when first I stumbled from the narrow way. But when at last I stood beneath a steep hillside, which closed that valley's wandering maze, whose dread had pierced me to the heart-root deep, then I looked up, and saw the morning rays mantle its shoulder from that planet bright, which guides men's feet aright on all their ways. And this a little quieted the affright that lurking in my bosom's lake had lain through the long horror of that piteous night. And as a swimmer, panting, from the main heaves safe to shore, then turns to face the drive of perilous seas, and looks again, so while my soul yet fled, did I contrive to turn and gaze on that dread pass once more, whence no man yet came ever out alive. Weary of limb, I rested a brief hour, then rose and onward through the desert hied, so that the fixed foot always was the lower. And see, not far from where the mountainside first rose, a leopard, nimble and light and fleet, clothed in a fine furred pelt all dappled hide, came gambolling out and skipped before my feet, hindering me so that from the forthright line, time and again, I turned to beat retreat. The morn was young, and in his native sign the sun climbed with the stars whose glitterings attended on him when the love divine first moved those happy prime created things. So the sweet season and the newborn day filled me with hope and cheerful auguries of the bright beast so speckled and so gay. Yet not so much but that I fell to quaking at a fresh sight, a lion in the way. I saw him coming swift and savage, making for me, head high, with ravenous hunger raving, so that for dread the very air seemed shaking. And next, a wolf, gaunt with the famished craving lodged ever in her horrible lean flank, the ancient cause of many men's enslaving. She was the worst. At that dread sight, a blank despair and whelming terror pinned me fast until all hope to scale the mountain sank. Like one who loves the gains he has amassed, and meets the hour when he must lose his loot, distracted in his mind and all aghast, even so was I, faced with that restless brute, which little by little edged and thrust me back to that place wherein the sun is mute. Then, as I stumbled headlong down the track, sudden a form was there, which dumbly crossed my path, as though grown voiceless from long lack of speech. And seeing it in that desert lost, "Have pity on me," I hailed it as I ran, "whate'er thou art, or very man, or ghost. It spoke, "No man, although I once was man. My parents' native land was Lombardy, and both by citizenship were Mantuan. Sub Julio born, though late in time was I, and lived at Rome in good Augustus' days, when the false gods were worshipped ignorantly. Poet was I, and tuned my verse to praise Anchises' righteous son, who sailed from Troy when Ilium's pride fell ruined down a blaze. But thou, oh, why run back where fears destroy peace? Why not climb the blissful mountain yonder, the cause and beginning of all joy? Canst thou be Virgil, thou that fount of splendor, whence poured so wide a stream of lordly speech? Said I, and bowed my awestruck head in wonder. O honor and light of poets all and each, now let my great love stead me, the bent brow and long hours pondering all thy book can teach. Thou art my master, and my author thou. From thee alone I learned the singing strain, the noble style that does me honor now. See there the beast that turned me back again. Save me from her, great sage. I fear her so, she shakes my blood through every pulse and vein. Nay, by another path thou needs must go, if thou wilt ever leave this waste, he said, looking upon me as I wept. For lo, the savage brute that makes thee cry for dread lets no man pass this road of hers, but still trammels him, till at last she lays him dead. Vicious her nature is, and framed for ill. When crammed she craves more fiercely than before. Her raging greed can never gorge its fill. With many a beast she mates, and shall with more, until the greyhound come, the master hound, and he shall slay her with a stroke right sore. He'll not eat gold, nor yet devour the ground. Wisdom and love and power his food shall be, his birthplace between Feltro and Feltro found. Saviour he'll be to that low Italy, for which Euryalus and Nisus died, Turnus and chaste Camilla, bloodily. He'll hunt the wolf through cities far and wide, till in the end he hunt her back to hell, whence envy first of all her leash untried. But as for thee, I think and deem it well thou take me for thy guide, and pass with me through an eternal place and terrible, where thou shalt hear despairing cries, and see long parted souls that in their torments dire howl for the second death perpetually. Next thou shalt gaze on those who in the fire are happy, for they look to mount on high in God's good time up to the blissful choir, to which glad place a worthier spirit than I must lead thy steps, if thou desire to come, with whom I'll leave thee then, and say goodbye. For the emperor of that high imperium wills not that I, once rebel to his crown, into that city of his, should lead men home. Everywhere is his realm, but there his throne, there is his city and exalted seat, thrice blessed, whom there he chooses for his own. Then I to him, Poet, I thee entreat, by that great God, whom thou didst never know, lead on that I may free my wandering feet from these snares and from worse, and I will go along with thee, St. Peter's gate to find, and those whom thou portray'st as suffering so. So he moved on, and I moved on behind.